Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of the We Do Marketing Hour. I'm here with my co-host, Paul Faust, and we've got tons of information to talk about because we are in the middle of summer and conference season's about to begin all over again, but there are certain topics that we want to jump on and talk about, whether you're a personal injury lawyer, a mass tort lawyer, getting into the space now, so just some good advice from guys who've been in the industry for a really long time, what to look out for. Paul, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
If I was any better, it'd be a crime.
Wow.
I'm so good. Yeah, I'm good, man. Everything's great here in SoFlo. Getting ready to go away for a week.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Iceland.
Damn, that's nice.
Yes, but I'm not prepared.
Iceland's actually Greenland, and Greenland's actually Iceland.
That is true, but
right?
the weather's going to be very cold, and I live in Florida now, and I'm not used to it, and I don't have any cold clothes. So we're going to see. They say the temperature swings. It could be sunny, then it could snow in the same day. But I'm excited to go.
That's great.
And then I get back, and then we get right into rock and roll with some conferences.
Awesome, man. Real quick, I mean, off format. You did this amazing video for Brian White.
Yes, that was fun.
Dude, that was stellar. Like, I loved it, and Brian White killed it. He did such an amazing job with it. But who was shooting it? Because it was just like Office format. They did such a great job.
He has a video guy, and I was going down there to the Lanier Trial Academy,
right.
And his office is down there. So I'm like, he's done a lot of videos based on The Office. It's sort of like,
has he done it before?
Yeah, he's done a whole bunch. So I'm like, let's do something fun. So I went there. We had all these ideas. We didn't know what we were going to do, and then just going back and forth, we're like, we'll do this. What about this? We'll do this, and then we decided to do that. It just really just came out. We shot it a few times, and it was just fun, And I love doing silly stuff. And
yeah, that was fun.
And Brian's great. He loves doing this stuff, so we had fun.
Yeah, you did a great job with it. That was cool.
Yeah, I love doing that stuff. That's the nice thing about our industry. We have a lot of friends in the industry. Guys you work with, but then they become friends, and just try to find fun ways to work together and get messages out.
I do that all day long. If we could be just traveling, going to people's offices, minus the conferences, just going, hang out, doing stuff,
and trying to make a living. And,
yeah.
Well, just travel around, hang out.
Just travel around and hang out. I'd love that.
Let's do it. You want to start a company? We just travel and hang out. If you guys are bored working, we'll just come hang out.
Yeah, we'll just shoot videos at your office. Paul will be the office guy. I'll just be in the background,
you just
get
be
ready
Alex.
For dinner, and just be the Alex guy.
Just the Alex. You know what's interesting I want to talk about? It's amazing to me now, and it's really actually cool, how many lawyers in our industry are doing other stuff that's kind of fun. They're not just lawyering.
Right. Diversifying.
They're diversifying in lots of different ways. Like I just had a call yesterday with a friend and a client, Ryan McKean. He's got a firm in Connecticut, a Connecticut trial firm, and a little less than a year ago, he got a $100 million verdict.
Wow.
$100 million verdict. And Dean Chase and I played a little part in it by helping him with funding, and he got this unbelievable. It was the largest verdict in Connecticut history. And so now what he's doing in November, I think it's November 10th, he's decided to put on a $100 million trial day. So he wants to get 100 lawyers. They're going to do it in Boston at the Ritz. I just talked to him yesterday, and basically he's doing a conference. It's really a one-day conference to map out and show trial lawyers how they got a $100 million verdict. So he's not doing it to make money in the conference business. He's there's going to be a charge to cover the cost of the rooms. There'll be some vendors involved, but he's really going to walk firms through the case, how they prepared for the case, the demonstrative aids they used, and how they got to a $100 million verdict, which is a record verdict. And it's just kind of cool that he's, it's something new besides
giving back.
Giving
back
and showing people, look, this is how I did it.
I'd love to watch that. That's awesome.
And what I talk to, what I love about Ryan doing it is, people go to these conferences when they're like, oh, it's Mark Lanier or it's Pat Bentoni or some of the what I call the whales of the industry, and like, okay, I might not ever kind of aspire to be a Peyton Manning, right, or like the elite. Ryan's a great lawyer, regular firm. He's just out there grinding, doing the work, and landed a case with a deserving client and executed the perfect trial. So now he's going to teach. So that's November. There's going to be information coming out of you. Look up Ryan McKean on Facebook and stuff, and I'm going to help him try and want to get attorneys in the room. But it's kind of cool. Like I was just with Ted Foreman, who lives down here. Ted's an attorney, does single event mass tort, and now Ted is helping attorneys file for ERTC.
Right.
I heard from all these lawyers that their accountants are saying they don't qualify for this, and Ted's a lawyer. He's like, this is ridiculous. So now he set up a whole division just to help lawyers and law firms file for tax credits that they're entitled to,
Right.
because the government shut down the court. So it's just between that stuff, and I'm working now with Mike Morse, Brian Lebovic, Jen Gord, some others, to put together a whole new concept. I don't like the word mastermind. I don't like the word coaching. I think there's a lot of that stuff out there. This is going to be a combination of all of them. Mastermind coaching, experiences, mindset training, attitude training, the full, you can't just build a business by learning intake and learning hiring practice. You need to be well-rounded. So we're putting together a concept that it's going to blow the doors off of what people think about when they think mastermind coaching. And I just think it's so cool that lawyers are getting into other areas than just practicing law. And it's fun to watch my friends grow and launch these, whether it's Seth Bader doing his with Louis or Mike Mogul. He's not a lawyer, but people are starting to expand their horizons. And I don't know if they're doing it. Some of them, I know Mike Morse does it with Fireproof because he truly loves teaching.
Right, and he believes it. Yeah,
I mean, it works, and he loves to teach. Ryan's doing this conference because he wants to show other firms how he got a $100 million verdict and how they can too if they do it. It's just kind of fascinated by the space. I'm loving everything.
Yeah, I love you take the experience that you went through, right? You put in all the work and then you package it up because you believe that you followed the discipline to get there, and now you're sharing with everybody else. I mean, it's commendable. I love it.
It's great stuff.
We had a really cool conversation the other day. We were hanging out with Gary and Ed Lake the other day for lunch, and some really cool, important stuff came up, right? Like, so Florida was hit this year with tort reform. So personal injury lawyers in Florida, in the beginning, I think some of them scrambled. They're like, what the hell, what are we going to do? Things leveled out, but it's a big insurance issue with being able to go in after MVA cases. Their only value, or the insurance companies going to pay out based on catastrophic injuries, right? So what are they going to do? Like we were talking about diversification. We were having the conversation, or what can some of these personal injury lawyers, or why would a lawyer try and start a personal injury firm in Florida? Now, we were talking about different opportunities for them to go after. Immigration, family law,
employment law.
Employment, right? There's other opportunities to go after in different practice areas. So it's something, if you are a PI lawyer in a market that might be affected by tort reform like Florida, start thinking of different things. And immigration, I think, is at the top of my list just because where we are, how pivotal it is, and we're also in an election year, so we don't never know what's going to happen with that or what the benefits could go to that.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, like any business, you're either adapting, growing, or dying.
Right.
And I think over the past maybe 10, 12, 15 years since I've really been doing it, it's been a good run, but you need to be paying attention to the market and being able to adjust to changes. We've seen lawyers who strictly practice insurance law here that was wiped out by the stroke of a pen. So what do you do about it? You can't change it.
Right, property damage. Yeah.
But you're an attorney. If you have a brand, if you have loyal clients, if you have a following, look at other practice areas of law you can get into. Look, the laws could change back, things could move, but you always constantly have to be adapting. We're also seeing more and more money come into this space. We're seeing with Arizona and other states, outsiders coming into the space. Whether it be funds, hedge funds, private equity going, wow, we need, non-correlated, investments. This is great. And so you have to find your opportunities in space. If you just sit on your hands, put your head in the sand and say, I'm just going to keep doing things the way I've always done them. Well, that's not going to work. Right. I'm seeing firms that I've known historically in one state are now opening offices in multiple states. Mm-hmm. Why are they doing it? Are they looking to expand? Are there just not cases in their market, so now they're reaching in other people's markets? This is all going to change. So figure out with your team, with your leadership team, with your talents, with going to conferences and talking to other people, where can you shift, move, grow? Where are the holes that are being underrepresented, and how are you going to differentiate yourself from the other firms trying to do exactly what you're doing?
Yeah, I think we all have to pivot and adapt, right? Because right now we're also going through the whole marketing space, the whole legal space, any space that you might be into can be affected by AI. How are you using AI to implement it into your business? Like, at what point are you going to pivot and start using it without being afraid of it? Where totally experimenting with it and seeing how we could use it. There's so many brilliant things you could do. Is it here to stay? I think it is in full capacity. Will it continue to get better? I believe so. So I think you have to embrace it, start learning it, do what you can to maybe getting a staff member to start becoming a prompt engineer or something. It's all about the prompts when it comes with AI, but start exploring it, right? We all have to adapt to it.
So as someone who does content and also SEO and things like that, besides the fact that, this AI can start to write content and stuff, is it going to be, for lawyers, is the way people search for a law firm going to change because of voice search? Instead of going into Google and typing, what they're looking for, will they use the chatbots to just have a conversation with their computer and say, "Hey, look, I was in an accident on I-95 and so and so, and I want a top attorney." So is AI and chat and voice going to change the way things are searched, and how can attorneys sort of, it's one thing when you, like for me in my business, I optimize for, vanity number, local number.
Right.
But is someone going to say to the search, the chatbots, these machines, "Hey, I really want to get a cool number in the 617 area code," and how does that affect how I prepare my content and how I prepare my SEO? So I think those are all things that we're going to see, and I don't think anybody has the perfect answer, because I think in a year we're going to have new technology and better.
Right. Yeah, it just continues to grow and expand very quickly. As far as search, I know Google's on top of it. How quickly they move, who knows? I'm sure they're moving very quickly with it. They've already implemented some things in search where they're using chat and you can sign up to be part of it. So it's going to be a different version of Google instead of the search one. So if you are the new type of user that goes in and decides, "Hey, I want to use the new version or the hybrid version of Google where it has the chat and it has the search capability," because they're going to do both, you sign up for that. But people that are habitual and they continue with their current way of searching, they would just use regular Google, which I think eventually will add it. But I think in the future, it's going to be a combination of everything, right? When you go to Google, you're going to have the opportunity to have the chat answer, which Google says is going to use search, right? Because it's gathering all the information from all the websites, because Google still needs content to operate. All ChatGPT's pulling the content from somewhere, right? So it's a database, and then it's recreating it, regurgitating. Seth Price and I have this conversation all the time. At what point does it become self-plagiarized, right? Because they're all pulling from the same pool. So it's another thing you want to be careful with, right? At what point is AI going to create the same exact thing for everyone? So you just got to be careful. Like, we're not using it for content, but we're using it for content research. Some clients, I think we're going to be transparent. I keep having this conversation is, do you want an AI to write the content and your legal editor edit it within our team? Or do you want a, trained legal writer and then a legal editor to do it? So that's kind of the path we're going on, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's not even just in the legal space. Like, what's AI going to do in any place, right? I had somebody come in and show us just some of the little things you can do to even create just your social posts. Like, you can create a full process where on a spreadsheet you could put a URL, says scan this URL, bring me back this information, scan this URL for an image, bring me back this information, now create a Facebook post or an Instagram post, and then post it to Instagram within 9 seconds. It's absolutely wicked.
Yeah, well, look, I think we're literally on the first step of this. Outside of the legal space, do we find a world where professors are different? Do I have a professor that studied Roman history 15, 20 years ago and is teaching, or do I have a computer generated human that is designed in a classroom that could teach the course with cameras in the classroom, so I could raise my hand, the laser will see me, I will talk to this thing that has access to every piece of information in nanoseconds. So do I have an avatar teacher tied to chat and GPT and all these services, so I don't need a human being that's fallible or that only knows certain stuff? I could just ask this 3D hologram thing, and it knows everything. So I think we're going to see it permeate every bit of our, a doctor that went to med school 30 years ago versus the computer that might know everything. So But specifically in the legal world, I think, and one thing that kind of makes me happy, because I believe, I'm a strong believer, as you know, because I do phone numbers and voice communication, is that ChatGPT and artificial intelligence is going to democratize a lot of things. The newest law firm in the world can have the exact same website as the experienced law firm.
Right.
Maybe not in terms of links and PR and articles, but in terms of content, exactly the same content, because it's going to be written by robots, written by artificial intelligence, then maybe edited by professionals. The one thing that technology cannot democratize is you as a person.
Right.
Your personal brand. People know me. They want to work with Paul Faust. They want to work with Alex Valencia. And right now, and for the foreseeable future, ChatGPT, artificial, can never be me. You can't go online and ask ChatGPT about some of the fun times you and I have had together. That's relationship that you and I have shared together. Dina and I have shared together. Randy and I have shared individual experiences. And when I build those experiences with human beings, I think at the end of the day, many human beings are going to want to do business with human beings. So don't use technology, ChatGPT, as a tool, as a weapon, which it is. You can't hide from it, because as Gary Vee once famously said, technology doesn't care what we think. It's going to keep doing its thing whether you like it or not. But I believe that human-to-human connection and building your own private brand and building who you are and what you stand for will separate you when all the other things can be equal, right? When we get all have access to the same legal facts, the same, information for our websites, the same color, the same designs, the same images. What's different? The difference is Mike Morse. The difference is Brian Lebovic.
Right.
The difference is Jen Gore. The difference is Larry Nussbaum. The difference is individuals, John Gomez and Liz Weibel, as their trial skills. That you can't replicate right now. And I think that that's really important, that you get yourself out in your community, and when you talk to your marketing team, you differentiate who you are, why you do what you do. Because that's what I think people read. I think that's why a lot of people do business with me, because they know me, they trust me, they like me. Yes, I think I provide a great service and I'm better than them, but there's also just, what, all things being equal, people do business with people they like.
Right.
And all things being unequal, people still do business with people they like. So I think it's really important now more than ever that you distinguish yourself and separate yourself that way, while we take advantage of these new weapons that we're all being given to make ourselves more efficient.
Like my team calls it, human intelligence as opposed to artificial intelligence. You mentioned Jen Gore. I've got a crazy admiration for her, because I remember meeting her early on, and her scale and growth has been exponential, just not only personally, but as a businesswoman. Everything that she's done to change the game, like herself. It's funny, it's just like watching somebody grow, like just watching them the whole time, and just I admire, and I'm super impressed by her, and I'm excited. I just got off the phone
and she's
with
giving
somebody,
back.
and she's giving back, right? Like everything she learned. But talk about somebody who's following the format, right? She said, I want to do this, I want to grow this. She went to the coaching, did that, masterminds, and is following everything as she was told to be able to get to the place she wants to. And I think either she's already there or she's getting there. It's mad impressive, and shout out to you, Jen Gore. I gotta have her on the show. We gotta have her on the show for sure.
She's phenomenal,
she's a badass.
and people don't like. She is so many events. Also a mom. Also goes to the gym, and it's also we only see her at all the legal events she goes to, and the mastermind. She does so much more personal coaching, mindset coaching, human growth stuff. She is a machine. She knew where she wanted to be. I mean, look, if you follow her social media, she's got like demand letters she wrote when she was 12 years old.
That was an awesome post.
This woman knew
awesome.
where she wanted to be,
Yeah,
and was
that's
putting the work in.
man. I love that.
And it resonates, which is why she's building an unbelievable firm, and now she's not afraid to go out and teach you and tell you exactly what she does and how she does it. That's what I think the legal profession.
She seems like an awesome boss too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're watching everything on social media, right? Who knows what everything that really goes on? Everyone's got problems and everything, but still, I don't know. Cause I think she could be mean. Like, who knows? She's probably forcing these people to act cool on social media. In the meantime, she's like squeezing them, like one of those mean moms squeezing the back of their arm. Like, you better look and see this.
No,
chick.
Jen is a warrior. I'm like, we are blessed. You and I talk about this all the time. of this massive industry, we're blessed to be around some just
we are, dude.
amazing,
We really are.
People. I'll get yelled at if I don't shout out, but my friends like Ed Lake, who we went out to lunch, who wants to teach guys like us and other lawyers the stuff that they know. Like, we've surrounded ourselves with these people who are not only, you could do great and do it on your own, or you could do great and give back and teach and guide and mentor and help and beat people up when they need a beating. And I think people say to me all the time, "Hey, you're going away this week. Is it work or pleasure?" I'm like, "Why are you separating the two?"
Yeah,
these are my friends. Like, I just happen to work with them. We happen to make money together. But these are the people I spend my time with because they're great humans. I did want to, because I pulled this up just because we were talking about it. Some of the shows coming up. I don't know where we are. We're almost in July, right? So you have
AJ.
You have AJ coming up. You got Lottie Gras, which
When's
is
Lottie Gras?
Lottie Gras looks like July 13th to the 16th, which I think could be the same time overlap with AJ, which is the 15th to the 18th. You got a trial lawyer symposium, CALA. Women in Mass Torts, Masters of Mass Torts in September, MTMP, Game Changer Summit, the NTL Business of Law, a new one that's not on our calendar, which is going to be in September, which is CJ's, Chad's, and Mickey's Accelerator. I think it's at the Cosmo. If we can get the date on that, we'll share.
September 6th and 7th, I just got off the phone. Nifty's doing one called NiftyCon in Park City, Utah.
NiftyCon, all right, yeah. There's just, look at the conferences. Some of them,
I'll be speaking.
You have to know the conferences and some of them, like Lanier, like the one Ryan's going to put on. These are trial schools, right? Or TLU. There's tracks on how to be a better trial lawyer. And if you're a marketing type firm, then you're running the marketing end of the business, the SEO, the TV, the radio, the branding. Then these are the ones you want to send your lawyers to that are actually handling cases. They're going to learn trial skills and all that other stuff.
What does your therapist say about Men's Mental Health Month?
Which one?
For you?
Which one of them? No, what I think is important about Men's Mental Health Month is that too often men, more so than women, are too afraid to admit or seek help. So that's why we see significant amount of suicides in the military profession, in first responders. We're supposed to be tough and strong, and we're not supposed to admit that sometimes we feel anxious or we feel less than or we feel depressed. So it's important to point this out. I think it was a really beautiful thing we just saw. If anybody, I'm sure most of you have seen the video of Louis Capaldi on stage, and he's one of the greatest performers of now, and he suffers from Tourette's as well as some his own mental health issues.
Right. And
he was on stage, and it was really beautiful because he had an episode and he couldn't sing. And he was having, I don't know if you watched the video, it was unbelievable. He couldn't get the words out, he started to have takes, and the crowd finished the song for him.
Wow.
That's I think what people are saying is that did more for mental health issues. It's okay. He doesn't have to hide off stage and not perform. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to have doubt. It's okay to have mental health issues. It's okay to have depression. What it's not okay is to keep it all inside and think you're too tough to seek help. So I think doing these things like mental health, first of all, it shouldn't be a month. Mental health awareness should be every day of every month for men and women. But it's important that there are people to talk to. You should talk. It is okay. People see me at conference all the time like, oh, you're so outgoing, you're so confident. I suffer from anxiety for 15 years. And have no problem talking about it. I want to talk about it because, in fact, I want to write a love letter to anxiety because it actually got me to seek help and reading and talking to experts and trying to figure out why I'm feeling this way, and has led me to a whole new way of thinking. So I think it's really important to point out mental health issues and to not be afraid of sharing them with people you care about. We all look on Facebook that everything's always wonderful.
I think yesterday I was on a podcast with Amy Scraggs, and men are really afraid to speak to not only them, speak to themselves, right? So I speak to myself all the time, but iron sharpens iron, right? If you know that, you always got to find a buddy, find somebody that you can just let things out to. I have a best friend for over 35 years who just calls me and says, "Hey, you don't have to say anything. I don't need your advice. Just listen." And sometimes that's all you need is somebody to be a sounding board with whatever it is that you might be feeling. And us as men, like Paul said, sometimes we're afraid to let that out, to let anybody know that we have a weakness. And like you, I've embraced those weaknesses because they've made me a better person, a stronger person. Being weak in mind to even just say, hey, I need help, right? I need help here. I was talking to my kids today because they have a personal trainer. I'm like, look, you're here with an expert that's here to teach you absolutely everything. Don't think your ego's so big where you can't just say and stop for a moment and say, show me that again. And, you just can't have that ego. Don't carry that around. You don't have to carry burdens. That's what starts building all that anxiety inside. So have a conversation with somebody. If you're friends with Paul or myself, pick up the phone. We'd love to hear from you. Dina will post any mental health things, like phone numbers or whatever, if you can call if you don't feel confident enough to talk to anybody. But again, make sure you're aware. There's always somebody there to talk to. Remember, iron sharpens iron. People are there to help you. You don't have to carry those burdens.
Yeah, and just don't assume, I've had plenty of stories in my life where there was someone in our industry, I'm not going to say his name. You see him at Mass Tour, Made Perfect on other events. I was at Mass Tour, Made Perfect with him, organized a dinner. We went out, steak dinner, bought dinner for, 7, 8 people, 9 people, 10 people, big bill, had fun, bottle service at clubs, business is going great, working on a new business, talking about investing. I think it was a week or two later, went to his office and hung himself. And they found, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. So don't assume because you see people having fun and posting fun stuff, check in with your friends, say, hey, just want to say, how you doing? Especially if you know something is weighing on them or something tough happened to them, but all the time. Just, hey, everything good with you? Anything you want to talk about? Reach out. Friendship is not just about us having fun on the road and laughing and going to great dinners. It's check out people because you never know the facade that people put up when they're feeling weak, but they don't feel like they could be strong. They don't feel like they could show weakness. So check in with people. I think it's really important. More and more, we're seeing a lot of stress.
Two suicides. It was 2 guys in the Mass Toward Space that both committed suicide, which is sad.
And guys that I thought could not have been happier, successful, crushing it. Well, appearance is not always what they seem. So, but a mental health month for men and women should be every month, every week. Pay attention. People. It's often a cry for help, and you gotta be there for them. So. Now let's try and talk about something a little bit more.
Well, let us know your thoughts. Paul and I jump on the show all the time. We want to have a good time. We don't want this format to just be talking about conferences and, if we can talk about something personal, talk about mental health, talk about anything you want to talk about, any subjects. Like for me, it's been on my heart a lot about the spoiling of my children. So eventually I want to talk about am I spoiling my kids? Am I doing the right thing? Or is it because I came from such a poor background that now I just want to give them absolutely everything. So eventually I want to have that conversation with somebody like Darren, oh my God, why am I getting...
Pop in the clutch, come on.
Darren Miller from D. Miller in Houston and I have this conversation all the time, who's an amazing lawyer, has a huge practice. And he's like, Alex, I don't know what I'm doing with, what's going on with my kids. So I struggle with the same thing. I'm sure
I don't
your
struggle
kids,
with anything. Nothing. No struggles.
He's got no mental health issues and no anxiety and struggles with nothing. But
no, I think it's cool. Shoot Alex or myself a message and be like, hey, why don't you guys go talk about this?
Yeah.
If there's a topic, or if you are doing something in the industry like Ryan, Jen, Mike Morris, all Chad and Mickey, if you're doing something that we may not know about, or if you want us to talk about it, we want to talk about it. If you want to come on the show, Alex and I can try to do this more often because it's just about sharing ideas and sharing thoughts and not always being about the latest legal trend.
It doesn't have to be no agenda on anything. We just want to have fun, help people, give back, and do what we can. So either DM, message Paul, myself, or Dina, who's on social media at all hours of the night and day. She'll respond to you much quicker than I probably would. So shoot them a message. What do you want to see on the show? What do you want us to talk about? You want me to teach you how to juggle? I'll teach you how to juggle. Whatever it is.
You're not joking.
I think I remember. I was in the play Barnum, and I had to learn how to juggle. So I might.
You were in Barnum?
Yeah.
That was one of the first Broadway shows I ever saw. There was a sucker born every minute. Each time the second hand sweeps through the clock like dandelions, up they pop there. I am very...
It's a great play.
Yeah.
It was a great play.
Yeah, why don't we end it on the...
My name is Thumb, I come to town, a Yankee Doodle dandy. I bet my scrapple cracked it down with just a nip of brandy.
Yeah, we're going to be doing that.
Show tunes! tunes coming.
We're gonna open up for the Dean Chase and Don Worley fight.
Oh my
Alex and
gosh,
I are
that's
doing-
right. That's coming up.
We'll be doing show tunes. Well, we believe it's coming up. Hopefully, our friend Don Worley got a clean bill of health.
Yeah.
He was checked out. I will let him talk about it, but it seems like the fight's on. Alex and I will be opening up with show tunes. So send in your requests. We could do what are we? Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen, whatever you like. Les Mis, Alex and I.
Les Mis.
If you want to join us.
Oklahoma. Oklahoma.
Darling. Hello.
All right, we just won't do cats because
No.
some people don't like cats. Jellicle songs. Still not going to do it. So we look forward to seeing you at our opening act of Show Tunes with Alex and Paul at Master Made Perfect.
That's right. Peace out.
How you doing? Paul Faust. I'm here with Alex Valencia on our podcast. It's Marketing, Legal, and Beyond because we talk about everything. And we're excited to have more episodes, more guests on, more topics. Send us your stuff. We'd love to have you.